Hey everybody, welcome back to Gordon's Garage. On this episode, we're going to be making some rat rod trophies, but it's Labor Day and I was chilling and I decided to take the car out for a ride. So hey, take a look at some of this. This is me out in the town, kind of just driving around. Okay, now that you're all caught up, I've got a little bit of work to do. I've got to start on some rat rod trophies. I'm going to do a little bit here and there each episode or so maybe. I don't know, maybe if I get real gung-ho, I'll just tear into them and not look up until they're done. Who knows? Anyways, what we're going to do is I got some buckets of parts here behind me on the floor, and I'm going to dare and see if I can't figure out how to make 3 trophies. I've done this before in the past, and I'm doing it for a car show at Thompson Park. It's the Chevy Club in town, and it's the end of fall cruiser. And these trophies I'm making are for rat rods, so they need to be all mean and tore up and rusty and something people like to put on their shelf. Anyways, let's get to it. Okay, try to angle you down here a little bit so you can see the bench a little bit better. So common parts you're going to find on a rat rod trophy: rusty chain. That's awesome. You can weld that stuff together and make it hold something. That's great. Found some screen here. This is what air filter thing for a Harley. That could be helpful. I might not use it. Might use it. Motorcycle chain. These things work great. Any scrap metal, even if it runs off across the floor, who cares? I got some little pieces of stuff. This is motorcycle stuff, and this is like a brake line. Maybe something different. Just steel rod. Those come in handy because you can help prop things or whatever. I don't think I can use these. They're a little chrome. Get them up where you can see them. These are actually shower hooks for your shower curtain. You put your shower curtain on here and it rolls across, and they get kind of rusty and you buy new ones. And I thought these are very ornate. I think if I just cut the top of this off, maybe I could use it for something. Who knows? But the most important part is what's in this box right here. This is basically what the rat rod trophy is going to be made out of. Take a piston, and this is going to be the head, like a big bobble head, And then you take, this is going to be the body, and you're going to take this bottom half off, and you're going to put feet on this. So it's going to be a little person. And I'm going to try with a tool, Dremel, and carve in a face here. And that's my typical Rat Rod trophy. And we're going to go ahead and lose all these rings. We're just going to take them out, get rid of them. They're good. Anyways, you sit there. I need first, second, and third place. So yeah. Anybody guess where these pistons came from? Anybody? 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 Going once, going twice. Yes, that's right. They came out of the 454 that I just built the first of this year in that Corvette. So yeah, an extra little cap. If I had some way to make these into feet, I'd do it. Matter of fact, I would, but I don't have enough. I need 6, and I only have 4. Wait. No, this couple, the hold down nuts, those are important too. All right, get rid of the box. So I'm gonna have to come up with something to make feet out of. I'm gonna have to heat this I-beam up with a torch and twist it 90 degrees and get creative on 3 types of faces. I don't want all 3 to be the same. There's a first, second, third. And in the past, what I have done is I would build a crown out of something and stick it across the top. If I can find the Rat Rod trophies that I've made in the past, I'm going to insert those pictures right here so you can take a good look of what the crowns are that I'm talking about. So here they are. All right, so I'm looking for an idea of what to make the crowns out of. Each year I change the crowns up and make something else out of them. And I'm trying not to reuse the same old idea because that's the repeat of something. So what am I going to do? What am I going to use? I did run across a bucket of old valves. These are your standard old valves from a car. And if you do anything on a Rat Rod trophy, number 1 rule, do not clean the rust and gunk off of valves. They need to stay on it if you're going to use it for a Rat Rod trophy. There. So I got a whole bunch of those. Those work really great for feet and stuff like that, but I don't know. I got to look into that more. The other thing I found were these things. I don't know if any of y'all know what these are. For those of you who don't, these are valve cover bolts. Basically, this one still has the stud in it. There's a stud right here, and instead of having a actual bolt with a hex head, you can have these on your valve covers and not have to use a tool to take your valve cover off. Anyways, there's several different types of these, and when they get all rusty like this one, they're good Rat Rod tool, Rat Rod trophy material. All right, so far, other than adding some rusty baling wire to the pile of metal and the valves, valve cover bolts, other than adding those, I have 2 other items down here that I'm considering using as crowns. And you gotta really think outside the box sometimes. So I've got me, why don't you come over here, let me turn the camera around. Okay, you can see here on the workbench, I've got a whole assortment of hose clamps. And those can work pretty good because I can use the small ones for 3rd place, the mediums for 2nd, and large for 1st place. And then I've got an assortment of some springs. I'm trying to lean away from these springs because they're just too pretty. They're too shiny, they're not rusty enough. Yeah. Now, I gotta figure out a way of affixing these to the tops of the pistons where they lay in order, and which order on their sides, up, right, forwards. Yeah, we gotta figure that out. So far this is the best choice I got so far, unless I want to use chain. I think I've used chain once before, but not this link chain. I've used this kind of chain before. Yeah, this is the part that holds me back the most because I don't know what I want. So that's where I'm at, and that's my valves. If I had a bunch of little bitty valves, medium-sized valves, I would probably use valves as the crown. I could see that happening real good. If you turn them all upright and get them to fan out You know, something like that. One in the center, one on the side, maybe one on the other side. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool crown, but I don't have a bunch of little bitty valves. Man, I really don't want to go to the junkyard and buy stuff for Rat Rod trophies. One last thing I want to show you is the rocker arm. I've got it right here on the bottom. This is how I make the feet usually. When you turn this thing upside down, let me do this one-handed. Turn it around, turn it around. Here we go. So there you can see how it would make a good shoe. It makes a pretty good foot. So yeah, I usually bolt those rocker arms upside down like that. Doesn't matter what type, you can use the high dollar ones or not. So that's what I'm needing. I'm needing ideas on some really wacky hose clamps, and I need to get my hands on some rocker arms. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to doing something. I gotta remove those piston rings and make some decisions. Just gotta do it. Okay, in case some of you were wondering what I was talking about by twisting the piston rod, this is what I meant. I've twisted that one 90 degrees from that one. So the feet will be facing forward, or the hips, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so this takes a little while with a torch, and then I got to put on some gloves and put some real torque on it and twist it around. Maybe let me set up a camera. I can show you how I do this last one. Okay, everybody, I gotta show you something right here on the floor. No, it's not the piston. That's still hot. It's right down here. Right down here. I gotta get down on it. Right here. You see that? You see that? Right there? That's the first confirmed kill that I've got with the Bug Assault. Yeah! All right, now back to work. I gotta get my pistons cooking. All right, had a little celebrate there, but hey, I feel so much better. Money well spent. Okay, now let's burn some piston rods, huh? Okay, so now I've successfully taken the torch and bent all my valves just a little bit. They're going to be the hands, and I'm going to have to weld them together and weld them to the pistons. I got all the pistons right there. Bam. All right, so let me see if these are that hot. They're not too hot. And I will probably stick them together like that, and I'm going to weld them together at the tip, and then I'm going to weld these two like this. The reason I'm welding them this way is because I want the front surface of both of these to be flat, because I'm going to make a little nameplate and weld it to the front of those, and they are going to get welded to that. All right, so to get all this done, I'm going to have to put the red diamond plate thing back there. You see, yeah, that thing is going to have to be up here for me to weld on. So let me clear all this off and get the red diamond plate up here so I can weld. And just like that, I have it all set up. All I have to do is weld them two together. Okay, so y'all can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to do here. I've got really nasty weld there in the back. I'm having a lot of troubles with my welding hood up there. Not charged up, it's not tinting on me automatically like it's supposed to, so you always have one of these bad boys laying around that never fails. Anyways, that thing works a lot better. So just so you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to create a little person. It's going to look something about like that. If I can get another shoe on him, he'd be almost there. Got to get a face on him right here. That means I got to carve it out with the Dremel, and I'm going to take a piece of this sheet metal this thing standing on, cut me a rectangle out, and weld it to the front of these two valves. And that is going to be my little Rat Rod trophy guy. Then we got to figure out the crown. What's going to go right up here? Okay, everybody, new day here at Gordon's Garage. I got out here and started tinkering around. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of faces to put on the front of these little guy thing, the Rat Rod trophies. Anyway, so I'm kind of messing around and I'm kicking around some ideas. I got a couple, but they're not really setting in good with me. So I am a Star Wars buff, and part of me is like, man, that would make a great Boba Fett helmet. And so I kind of started drawing on the face of this where the lens would be and stuff. And the parts I need to show you is actually outside. Let me go get them, bring them right back. Okay, so I brought them back in here. They're really hot. They were sitting in the sun. I was trying to bake the paint that's on them because I wanted to dry faster. So this is the Boba Fett head. Yeah, y'all can see that. This is gonna be his mask, somewhere about like that. Yeah, that looks great. Well, actually a little bit taller, right about there. Yeah, that's the way that's gonna lay on there. And then of course I've got me a little cap here. Yeah, we got Boba Fett here going on or not? Now I'm just gonna work on getting him a little antenna on the side. Yeah, just like you're supposed to have. Don't want it super perfect, and this paint, too clean. I'm gonna sand it down and get it roughed. So I'm gonna turn this upside down, and I'm gonna take this sucker and I'm gonna set it on top of that little green thing, and I'm gonna go inside and tack weld it so it stays together. That means I'm gonna have to drill a hole on the side for the antenna to attach to. So it'll end up looking like that. And you can see how much slag the plasma cutter puts on that metal. I'm gonna stick that slag to the outside, probably about like that. I want that stuff showing. I'd like for it to be there, kind of all nasty and rusty. Perfect. Okay, these two got to cool down. I can tack weld those. Then I got the antenna pieces I'm starting to make, which I'm gonna have like that, and a little triangle piece. I'm gonna, yeah, something like that. That's gonna be a little more accurate than need to be, but that's gonna work. Done with that. That's gonna make this guy pretty much done except for the nameplate. Still haven't made those. That's a whole nother chore. Now I gotta figure out what to do with the other two. Now Boba Fett's helmet's pretty simple. Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, it's really bubbly and round. I'm working with 2 dimensions, and the best I got was I picked up some of these little caps. These are 4 and 4.5 inch caps, and they work great to put on top of piston, but you can see how it's a little narrower than the piston, and then this one is a little bigger than the piston. So yeah, maybe I'll make 3 different type of Mandalorians. That would be real easy. Just change up the design and the cut and the mask. Maybe that'd be kind of cool since the movies or the series is coming out on Disney. I don't know, the Rat Rod guys would like that, but let me see if I can go bare metal on one, and let me see if I can get a couple others that are just a little different. I don't think they'll really notice the difference. And a lot of those guys, if they're not big Star Wars nuts, maybe they think they're just gladiators. That'd be fine too. So I'm rolling with this. We're doing Mandalorian Rat Rod trophies. All right, decisions made. Let's get her done. I got more to cut out, and I don't think I have enough sheet metal. That's the only bad part. I gotta go get more sheet metal. It is what it is. Let's get busy. All right, just in case you're just wondering, I took my trusty little die grinder, yeah, that thing, and then I started scraping around on it. It really gives it a good little roughed up look. And this is the difference. Not sanded down yet, sanded down. I kind of give you an idea. The change is gonna happen. Same thing's gonna happen with the top of this bad boy. Anyways, what you'd like to see. Okay then, I kind of got this thing together. So it kind of looks like that as a helmet. And you can see the heat mark where I welded. I tack welded it on the inside, just a little bit. And let's see how well it fits on the old piston thing here. I've tried it once and it didn't fit, and now, oh man, what do y'all think about that? That's all right. Now if I can just get the little antenna on the side, wow, that comes out pretty good. So I'll probably drill a hole through this, through that, and into the piston, and tap threads into the aluminum piston, and man, I hope that works. Maybe I'll tap threads into the sheet metal. That way the helmet will stay on. So when you turn it upside down, well, it kind of gets stuck, but I don't want it falling off anyways. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna do that. If I can get this thing back off. Uh-oh. All right, so let's take a look where we left off. I got the antenna on, it's all bolted in. Got another bolt on the other side, but this is a little loose. I don't like that. I wished it was better. But that one's just about complete. All it needs is its little sign and its little feet. Update on the feet. We have some on the way. Guy has them. I just got to get them here. That's probably one of the last things I have to put on. For right now, I did get some little plates cut out. And that was loud. These plates are going to get welded onto the front of the valves, and I'm going to stamp on here the first place or second place winner and stuff. But before I get all the way there, I'm going to go ahead and try to carve in this face while these hands are already in my way. Yeah, let's see what happens there. To get this to stamp in, I need a real solid surface, and this thing's rocking back and forth, so I'm going to wait on this until after I get the second two heads finished, and I'm still working on that. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I know before, earlier in this video, I said I'm gonna do more Mandalorians, but I got this idea of a World War I style helmet with a guy's head and a cigar sticking out of his mouth. That was a real iconic little character, and I'm thinking about trying to do that. And to do that, what I'm going to need is a piece of sheet metal cut out in a donut, a little larger than the diameter of this outer ring. And so I'm looking for something that's larger in diameter. That's just about right, but it's plastic, and I'm afraid the torch is going to melt my little funnel, which if it happens, it happens. I've been looking at all the little round things I could find, but that's my goal. I'm gonna try to make a little army helmet, and I'll probably put a screw through the top and thread it into the top of the piston, and maybe have it tilted to the side just a little bit, you know, like the helmet's slid off a little. I don't know. I gotta work on that. Then I gotta work on the face, or the mean kind of face. Yeah. So far, I did go get another piece of sheet metal. We're good to go to start on that. I just got to cut out a big round donut. So yeah, let's see if I can't get that started. Okay, so here we have it. Got a 24 inch by 24 inch piece of sheet metal. This is nice and clean, brand new. Something that y'all might like to see here, tilt the camera down a little bit more. The fact that I found that if you use a plasma torch right up against this diamond plate, well, the slag shoots out sideways, and to get it up off the diamond plate so I don't cut through it, also I found this motorcycle chain works really great. it holds it up and it gives it room to let that slag fall somewhere and it doesn't go. And if I tear up this chain, I don't care about it. There's also a lip on this front edge, and this is just a little taller than the lip, so it really perfect. I couldn't ask for better. Anyways, you can move it around any shape so you can get it out from underneath where you're cutting, but if you do accidentally cut into it like I did there, no big deal. But yeah, so now I need to cut me a perfect circle. Let's see how this works. Yeah, like about that. So yeah, I can a round circle or something or so. Yeah, I'm gonna draw this first and size it up. Let's see what happens. And I might go ahead and use this funnel. Let's see how, man, that's close. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay, so I got it marked off. This is just about right. I think once I add the extra distance of how far the tip of the plasma torch is going to cut away from this, I think it's going to be all right. So I'm going to be making a donut basically. So I took a permanent marker and marked out where it's going to go, and now I'm going to take this thing and sit it in the center and mark it where it goes, because I need a donut like that. Now what I'm going to end up cutting is I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to cut out a little section. I don't know if y'all can see that, but just about like that, just about that much out of this donut, and I'm going to draw it back together. And when you do that, it's going to cause this flat donut to kind of tilt in, and it's going to give me the right kind of brim that those World War I helmets had. So my goal is to cut inside this line by about that much, and then cut outside this other line. This should work. If not, hey, I tried. So let's get to cutting. I need some stuff to protect my face. Let's do that. Okay, it looks like fortunately I got this cut out, but unfortunately I melted my funnel just a little bit. I left some behind on here, and this is the end result. I think once I bend this around to get it to close that gap, it will give me the right shape I'm looking for. Whew. Yeah, that's funnel. So I've got the air compressor turned back up. When I have to use the plasma cutter, the air compressor has to be at like 35 PSI. And there is a regulator at the plasma cutter itself on the back side, but it just doesn't seem to cut it with what the compressor can put out. Anyways, to use this tool, it'll run at 35 PSI, but it just barely goes, and it takes a long time. If I crank it up, this thing spins a lot faster, and I can cut through all this slag on the backside a lot quicker. Before I do that though, it's time to run to the alley. I have a friend that lives across the alley, and they have got my feet. I'm ready to, I just found that thing was loose. Anyways, I'm gonna go grab the feet. So let me cut and go get that. All right, there we got it. Got our little feet. Neat little baggie there, but yep, got enough for what I need to do. Awesome. Okay, let's throw that away, and let's finish grinding on this thing. I hope you can hear me over the air compressor, but this little thing is having a hard time keeping up with me. I'm trying to push a little more into it than it's willing to give out. So I decided to drag out old Frankenstein here, and let me plug it in. Let's do some, see if this goes any faster. Okay, that cleaned up pretty nice. I even straightened out these edges so that if they come together that they actually kind of meet flush, hopefully. Anyways, so now I've got to get that gap to shut. I just can't push it together. It's pretty stiff. So what I'm going to try and do is my next little hat trick with my favorite little hammer. It's got that nice little point on one end. I'm going to find me a little crack in the concrete outside, and I'm going to lay this on that crack, and I'm just going to give it a little tap and help this thing fold around a little bit. Just massage it. So let's go outside and find us a good little crack in the concrete. Okay, I kind of like this spot right here. It's not completely flush, but it's got a little bit of a gap there. And I laid that right there. And I just got to turn it around through here while I take this, just tap on it. You can see how this is raising up. Makes me feel like I might be doing the job. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to focus more concentration on this side, not that side. I'm getting more flexibility now. I'm able to actually push it together a little bit. So let me go around one more time and see what happens. Okay, I'm getting really close. I can actually push it together and hold it there, but I think I might massage this section right here just a little bit more. It seems to need some. It's almost touching on its own. And I'd like to do that so I don't fight it while I'm trying to weld this section together. Yeah, just find me another little spot. I'm looking down at this direction and trying to find what's not bent. It seems like it's pretty even all the way around, so I'll just go all the way around again. Now it's got it overlapping. It wants to hold together now. Yeah, let's go weld this up and then I'll kind of tap on it some more because it looks a little askew right there. So yeah, let's go do that. Okay, so I'm at this point where I've got to make a decision. So I've got it cut out and I've got it welded and I've ground it kind of smooth. I had to go ahead and massage this a little bit because it was flat in that spot. So I kind of got this rim of the helmet made, but when I put this one on it, it kind of looks more like, I don't know, a flying saucer or something, but as hat-wise, it's more like a sun hat. I think the brim is too wide for the old military. So if I use the larger diameter, it kind of makes it, yeah. And to help solidify this as a military hat, I think I'm gonna do like I did the other one and paint it a dark green so that it kind of symbolizes, yeah, it's an old military thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use this one. It looks like I'm gonna have to tack weld it on the outside because the inside is too far of a gap in there for me to reach. Yeah, technically, if I absolutely did not want to tack weld on the outside, which I don't mind, I could cut a couple of slits here and bend a tab down and tack weld that tab down inside, but I'm lazy. I'm gonna go ahead and center this best I can and tack weld a couple, 3 spots on the outside. And if they get too big and gloopy or something, I'll just grind them down. Yeah, let's do that. That looks fun. Yeah. You know what to help sell it? Let me put it on the guy so you kind of, maybe that'll help me. Yeah. What do y'all think? Is that a military helmet? Maybe? Maybe. All right, I went ahead and put the feet on this guy because there's a lot to juggle trying to hold this guy up and put this helmet on and look at it. I want to step back a bit. Yeah. I don't know. That likes to fall off to the side. I don't know whether to sit it square on him. Square on him looks fine. Yeah, what do y'all think? It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, well, I'm gonna go with square on him because this is gonna help me on a couple other things. The fact that I'm gonna drill a hole and I'm gonna bolt through the top to hold his hat down, and I'm gonna drill and tap a hole in the center of this for thread. And yeah, let's paint this green and stop avoiding the inevitable and go ahead and start carving faces. That's the one thing that's the hardest to do, and it's one thing I'm stalling on. I admit it. Yeah. All right, so let's get this going. Yeah. Okay, been working a little bit here. Thought I might give y'all a little update of where I'm at before I try to put these gloves on. I've made myself a little metal lower jaw that's just kind of sitting up there. I think I'm gonna tack weld them to the wrist pin, just a little bit there. I'm gonna do some teeth in here, some eyes and a nose, you know, and then I kind of ground away at this little helmet, make it a little more worked up. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm thinking just to add a little more to it. I took some of this mesh, remember this thingy? Yeah, I cut some out, and I'm gonna lay it on top of here, and I'm gonna take some black paint, and I'm just gonna give it a little, and see if I can get this pattern, this mesh pattern, onto this helmet. Maybe to give it a little more character that I'm looking for. Right now it's just kind of a little boring. I don't know. If it doesn't work, all I gotta do is spray it and sand it back down, and it'll be just like this again. Anyways, let's give that a try. Okay, so I think it might be a little bit time for some updates, see where I'm at. Been kind of working on this off camera, so last thing I was going to do is try that pattern. It kind of works out, it's all right. Thinking I should have painted the helmet black and then kind of sanded it down a bit and then put the screen on there and spray painted green. I think it would have came out better, but it's whatever. Anyways, that's going to go on there eventually. What I'm working on now is the face. So I've drilled a few holes, started dremeling out the nose hole, some teeth lines, and I've made a little sheet metal lower hinge, lower jaw that hinges a little bit. I'm gonna have to tack weld it on the sides right here on this steel thing. And I went ahead and see if I can get that jaw to sit still. I made a cigar, maybe to stick in its mouth right there. I don't know, what do y'all think? Anyways, basically a piece of tubing, and I've spray painted it rose gold and then speckled black paint on it. And then I took some red Scotch-Brite pad and just cut a little corner out and just stuffed it in the end. Kind of make it, I don't know. It'll work. I'm just gonna weld this to the lower jaw, and then that way the jaw can be open and it can be hanging right there on the edge. That's a pretty cool look. All right, so that's that, and I still just gotta lay this fella down here and use my little Dremel tool and just grind away on the face. That's the long, tedious part, and I'm not gonna bore y'all with that. So let me get to grinding here, try to get something created three-dimensional out of that one dimension, and let's get a face out of this thing. How about it? All right, it is now update time for y'all. I've been working some more, and now I've got something to show for my time I've spent over here. So on the third and final Well, let me update you on the other two right quick. Y'all know about this guy right here. I need to tighten this screw down. Anyways, we got our Boba Fett guy. He's doing really good. I think we're all done except for the nameplate. It's ready to go. The next one I have is my little soldier man. Let's see if I'll get a good close-up look. Got a little cigar there in his mouth. He's got some teeth going on. Yeah, he's pretty good. Got a little screw in the top of his hat. And I ended up trying to spray it green. I don't know if that's gonna come up in y'all's screen. That fishnet looking thing, it didn't come out that great, but that's all right. He's got a little green hat and he's got a little cigar. All he needs left is his little nameplate. Now the third guy, I'm really struggling trying to find something to do with this guy, and I dotted up a hat with some weld. I put a little metal dowel rod thing around the edge because the diameter of this cap is not big enough for whenever sheet metal is on the outside. This is just stuck in there. Anyway, so now this is out further than the side of the piston, and I'm going to do like Boba Fett. I'm going to wrap it with some type of sheet metal, and I'm actually got it right here. I'm going to put this in that. You see how I got that bent, and it goes right in that groove like that. Probably just going to sit in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap a piece of sheet metal around this guy, and that barely stands up. I need to work on their feet a little bit more, and I don't dare pick this thing up because it is scalding hot. But this is going to be his mask. It's going to be kind of a Spartan mask. I've got to grind the slag off the backside, and that's starting to get through the glove. Yeah, so I'm just going to wrap this around the piston and weld it, tack weld it up here a couple spots. And going with the color scheme, I've got little green hats and some little bit of red. I think I'm going to do this mesh in black and probably a little bit of red and grind it down to where you can barely see any red on it. Yeah, let's do that. And while I'm working the slag off the back of this, I'm going to clean up these edges to make them a little smoother like they're meant to be. Not so rough. I don't mind the eyes being a little jagged, kind of mean. I like it. The only hard part is I'm going to have to learn how to bend some of these sections. Yeah, they're not going to want to bend. They're going to stick straight out. So I'm going to have to work on that. A little bit of hammering to do. And, shouldn't be too bad. And tack welded on. So let me get the noisy parts out of the way so it didn't get too late on me and I make too much noise for my neighbors. Okay, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up for today. You know where the other two are standing. I'm still working on the third guy, and I'm letting this helmet dry. Kind of got it in my hand, and this is what it's come out like. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. Little buttons on top. Now I've just sprayed this. I'm gonna let it dry good. I'll come back tomorrow with the scuff pad. I'm gonna scuff it all down like I've done the other two with the helmets and stuff. So if you can imagine that this screen's going to be on the inside. That kind of makes a nice little, and the piston actually got painted black. So you're going to have a black background with the silver screen in front of that, and then it's going to be right there like that. Anyways, I've got them all set up to where they work. I've got a screw that goes in the top. It's going to be awesome. Now I'm going to set that, just let that rest for the night, and come back at it tomorrow. Man, this has turned into a lot longer project than I'd like. Anyways, it is what it is. So all I gotta do is watch the paint dry and then come back and start grinding some. Alright, catch y'all tomorrow. Well, I let that sucker dry. Got out here today and started grinding on it with the little, and I don't know about the top end here. I'm gonna grind on it a little bit, but I think I need a wire brush on it. Yeah, it's just a matter of trial and error. Worst case scenario, you know, you can always just repaint it and do it again. So yeah, where I'm at is pretty much got them all situated. After I finish this and bolt it on, I'm going to work on these little place placards that go on the front, little labels that say first, second, third place. And to do that, I need to be right here on my workbench because there's a post that goes to the ground. It's really solid, and I need to clear all this stuff off. And so let me finish this up, and then we'll get to stamping those suckers, and then I'll weld them on, and y'all get to see a finished products. All right, so let's get busy. Okay, so I thought I knew what I was doing. This steel is really thick, and got on the workbench there in that desired spot, and I pounded on that and it didn't take. And so I thought, oh, I've got too thick a sheet metal, I have to go thinner. But that doesn't make sense because they stamp on cast iron blocks and it works. So anyways, I tried some sheet metal that is thinner, and it didn't want to take either. And it's just, you can't do that on wood. So it does take, but you got to be on a really firm surface. And so I got this one started. I was like, all right, it does take. And I started stamping, and I've already made a mistake. So yeah, it's supposed to be rat rod, not rod is R-O-D, not R-A. So anyways, that's my one oopsie. I can't have any more. So I'm going to try to stamp these up, and I gotta, this is gonna be my world right here on the floor with a hammer and trying to whack away at these. It's really not that hard. You have one good pound on it and it'll take pretty good. So this is where I'm gonna be for the next 30 minutes at least. Hey, sometimes that's what you gotta do. All right, so I got them laying here kind of face down. They're just resting. I've actually was grinding on the back side of the valve so that these plates could actually be welded to it. I need clean metal. So the back of these plates are pretty clean. That's great. I painted the front of them red. They're stamped, so what the plan is we're going to grind off the excess paint and leave it down in the crevices so the letters that are stamped kind of stand out a little better. Anyways, don't know what I'm gonna use. Coarse, a wire brush, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I've got the trophies done, finally. I know this is an extremely long episode, and I'm sorry for that. Content is there. I just wanted to try to capture it all and get it to y'all. Anyways, if y'all get a little bored, y'all know how to fast forward, right? Hey, all that matters to me, just do the little like, subscribe, and what you have it here on Gordon's Garage, and I'd really appreciate it. So let me get y'all a little bit of a close-up look at these suckers. I got them right here on the counter. Let me turn you around. So what you're looking at is, I got the first place guy here in the center. I don't know why. I kind of like Star Wars a lot, but I mean, I got to decide which one of these is first, second, and third. Sometimes it's just let them land wherever. But yeah, this is where it ended up. After I welded, I had heat spots coming through, and I kind of ground them down with my favorite little die grinder tool. But that's what they look like. Let me see if I can change angles here to get a little better view. It's really hard to get his lower jaw in a good light, but it's there. Yeah, he's got a cool little cigar. If you don't lose his little filter thing on the end. I had to change out this bolt because it was kind of stripped, and so I got a larger bolt that's just as rusty and got it stuck in there. And I kind of did a little spackle of black on top of that little mesh stuff because yeah, I just didn't feel good about it. But the Spartan guy here on the end, he turned out pretty good. I'm kind of liking the big head thing, the little bubbly things. Yeah, the little wire mesh really looks cool in there. Anyways, he turned out to be third place. And yes, you're not seeing things. That is a backwards 3. That is a mistake I made on the very first Rat Rod trophy I made. I actually put that 3 on backwards, and the guys loved it. Everybody wanted third place basically just for that, which is crazy. So, of course, I had to do that every time after that, and as a tradition, I got it again. Sometimes it's kind of hard to mess up when you're trying to mess up. But yeah, got their little feet on. I got them kind of stable. They're pretty cool. And let me spin them around so you can see the backside. There's not much to the backside. You can kind of tell it's a piston. That's the part that's going to face a wall. I can get this guy to stand still. He wants to lay down. He's tired. He wants a nap. That sounds like a great idea, a nap. But yeah, it's just a piston that's been twisted. Come on, you, stand up. There we go. Yeah, he got a little more color in the back than the rest of them. I guess that's why he got first place. All right, guys, let's flip you back around here. Yeah, and that's the trophies. They're ready to go. I'm posting them on the internet. I'm trying to get the word out there so the Rat Rod guys will get up to our car show, so they'll try to get one of these trophies. With that said, this is gonna wrap up the video, and it's midday. It's beautiful outside, and the car's sitting in the driveway saying, drive me. I really wanna go for a ride. One thing I gotta do is edit a bunch of video now, so y'all can get this, and I gotta come up with an idea for my next episode. I'm running out of stuff. I actually thought about going to one of the local junkyards and just kind of running around it and showing y'all some old classic cars. Maybe that's what I'll do. That sounds like a fun day. What do I need from the junkyard? All right, I'm wrapping this up. Y'all guys, I'm sorry it was a long video, but hey, y'all have a good weekend.